Face it, 3D printing is never as fast as you want or hope it to be, especially when you're pressed for time. Often you have a large print that may take many hours or many days. You start the print and you wait. Hope when the print is done and you have a usable perfect print. Dang it, and you see a bed of extruder noodles. Time and material lost and a few gray hairs added. Something you can do to help with those challenges is to fail faster. Well, how do you do that? You can print just the section of a print that could be a challenge and prone to failure. With PrusaSlicer, we can cut down a print to just the problem areas and greatly reduce the time for a test. Let me show you how I do that. With the latest PrusaSlicer open, I'm going to import my model here. This model is designed for a lamp that I've been working on, and this is a leaf here that is printed in 3 different sections. This is designed to fit within the print volume of a Prusa Mini. I also have a 2-part section leaf that will print in a larger printer like a Ender or a regular Prusa. This is one giant STL. I'm going to split it into multiple objects. Over here under split, we can say to objects or to parts. If we do it to parts, it'd be just like one giant group. You want to split it to objects. Now we see we have the different objects separated here, and they're all leveled to the bed. A couple of them are hidden because they're still in there. Down on the bed, these are clips. So if I hit A for arrange or the arrange button up here, you can now see all the pieces here. If I printed it as is, you would really need a lot of support to keep this from falling all over. We want to minimize the print time as much as we can without suffering in print quality. This isn't enough surface area for it to hold on to the bed unless you put a really big brim on it and fatten it up. You might get away with it, but then just the stability, it would probably topple over time. What you want to do is then orientate this flat surface here to the bed. I'm going to hit escape so I don't have anything selected, and then select this part here and then choose place on face, F. You can use the F key. The white areas highlight the surfaces that will rotate to a flat position on the bed. So on here we want this to go to here and this highlighted flat section here. And you now can see that that area is now rotated flat on the bed. Same with the clips. We can go in here, select the clip. This one, I don't know why it's got kind of a weird section, but we want this flatter area on this side. These all should be okay here. This, and that. Again, we'll deselect the place on face and then arrange. Now everything's hunky-dory and has a flat surface on the bed to adhere. Again, this isn't bad, but if you try to print this on a printer that has a moving bed that moves in and out, there's a good chance that this is going to topple over time. Because basically you have this going back and forth and it's going to strain on its connection to the bed. We can add a big brim, but it still is going to strain on that. As you see here in this photo, when I did a test for the 2-part print, it did eventually fall off the bed. And so a good correction for that is either A, you can print slower, which then takes a lot more time and we want to fail fast, or B, we can just select all the parts, Command A, Control A on your PC, and then rotate, and rotate this 90 degrees. It's nice with PrusaSlicer, these little notches here on the outer rim will move in 5-degree increments. Anywhere else, move it in fractional degrees. Or in here, 45-degree increments. Now this is a lot better way of printing this because the stress is going to be on the front and back and not back and forth. Less chance of this toppling over. But let's tighten these things up here a little bit. Using the number keys, we can look 1 straight down or 2 up from the bottom. And we can tighten these up in here. Might as well name these so then we know how to move these around. Look right here. This is the bottom of the leaf, so we can rename this to leaf bottom. This right here is the leaf mid. Rename leaf tip. This right here, the ones with the circles are the top clips. Rename clip top. Rename clip top. Rename clip bottom. And the one hidden in here, rename clip bottom. Those are mirrored images, should be pretty much the same, but and interchangeable. And at this size, in the test that I've done, they pretty much are interchangeable. Again, let's view from the bottom. Let's group these in together here. It's a little bit more handy to move around. R for rotate. Close to vertical. And right here, R to rotate. I guess it's in there. And it's right here. Oops, 2. Deselect that. Yeah, there's a little bit of distortion there, but alright. What could do is we can go or hide these a second. Leaf mid, right click, right click, right click, down arrange. That groups them nicely. Clip bottom. Oops. And merge those. So now we'll have those in one group. Those is the clip. Clips. Oops. Rename. Might as well tighten these up a little. Fat fingers today. Alright. You can turn these back on. Right click, right click, right click. They've all been moved out to the side so they're not on the print area, and we'll do another arrange. So this right here will print a little better. But again, this is a larger print bed. If we need to tighten this up for the mini, we can then move these around here. But actually, I like these to have the similar orientation with the inside, this spine of the leaf there. And then this right here, it's going to cut into there. This can tuck underneath this one, alright. Oops, I guess I could have rotated the other one, but we can do that too. Anyway, so, oops. Here. It tightens that up a little bit. And we move our clips up in here. Click down on that. Select all. We don't want to rotate. We want to just select all here. And then move these in this section here. And you can see they can fit in a little bit smaller volume area of a Prusa Mini. Let's slice this a second. I have a few things that I've dialed in for this printer, but whatever your basic settings for your printer should apply here, okay. So we're going to slice this. So we got some overhang here. This is a little bit strong on that. Probably want to add some things to support that. And this is 7 hours and 1 minute, so we're going to spend a good work day of this printing, and hopefully it prints without any issue, but as is, I would say it's unless you have a very, very brand new bed and it really, really adheres to the bed surface, you are probably going to get a failure like this. So we can avoid the failure on this setup here by adding some little ears on the print to hold it together better. Let's go on the leaf tip here, and then we can then add a part. In the new version now there's a gallery, and we can add a helper disc, they call them. Go into here, and that's our helper disc, and we can see it's 1515 by 0.2. Before I would just add a cylinder and then adjust it to this size. But I want this to work a little better, so I want this to print for a couple layers, so I'm going to change this to 0.5, hit return, and oh no, it's much bigger. Let's Command Z, undo that. Let me go back to here. That's an undo there. Rotate. I don't know why there's a rotation there. Anyway, and let's see here. Does that need to be dropped? This newer button here drops the object to the bed. So if we turn off the lock here, then we can then scale that. So we're going to go 0.5. So that gets us a little bit more grippy here. We're going to have a flange here that's going to need to be cleaned up, and it'll be a little bit more susceptible to breaking, but you know, a little safer is better than sorry and a waste of way too much time. Okay, one thing here, it looks like this might be buried into the bed. So we want this on the surface, so we'll click on this button here on the surface. And is it doing it? No, let's see, it's buried under there. Let's see, we want this. Let's try moving this off the bed, say 10 millimeters, and then redropping it. There we go. For some reason when it's buried in there. Alright. Let's go grab that helper disc here. And that should be pretty good here. I'm going to add another helper disc over here. We can copy and paste. It's in the same section, so I'll just slide that over there. You can futz around a bit more, just call it good enough. And then do this for the other parts here. Leaf mid, have that selected, paste. Helper disc is right there. We want that down below, so you need to drop that to the surface. And a good way to tell is if you see this kind of fighting for which color shows up. So add that out here a little bit, about a third in. Again, copy, paste, and drag that over. Select this one, paste, paste, there we go, try this, and let's just move this up here just to see. 50. Still has this button over here, but anyway. Looks like it's fighting for color, so that means it's on the same surface. Select the disk, copy, paste on top of itself, and then we can move this down here. There. Now those will move in conjunction to each other. You can also do an arrange here and let it kind of figure out the best way, but I like to have a little bit tight here. Let's look underneath here. We could probably move this out a little bit here, give a little bit of space. That's okay here. And should print okay. Alright, that has a lot better bed adherence, but still there's a good chance it's not going to stick the way we want it to. So one more thing I would add is I'd add a brim. So let's go back and go in our print settings here, skirt and brim, outer brim, and let's go with 5 millimeters. Platter, I'll slice now again, and there we go. Now we have brims that should hold that far better. And then the helper discs will keep it from tumbling over as easy. That doesn't hold it down, then you probably got a really dirty bed and it's probably not calibrated and leveled very well. But one thing I don't want to do is these little clips here. These can be kind of a pain to clean out, or you don't really need them because there should be enough surface area that should stick without too much issue. So let's grab the clips here. Let's change the brim. Where are we at? Infill, ironing, skirt, and brim. These are your common changes down here. We can change that setting, but a little bit more uncommon. We can go to out here, and then we can then change the skirt and brim. Change the brim width here. We just delete that, it's going to keep it at 5 no matter what. So we want to change this to 0. And then slice now. So now you can see the clips are now printed without the needed issues. I'm pretty sure this is going to stick fairly well to the bed as needed, but I don't know how well these clips may work in these holes here. I might have over extrusion where they will be too tight to fit through there, or under extrusion they may be very, very loose. So what I want to do is check this. Should have it dialed in and it shouldn't have any issue, but sometimes you just may never know. So let's knock these down in sizes. We need our clips there, and then we can use this beautiful tool, cut over here. We don't need to cut those. Let's cut the tip down. We'll show our line where we want it to slice here. And it's showing a nice cross section here. So right around 12, 13, let's add a couple millimeters. So You can just type it in over here, 15. We want to keep the lower part and then get rid of the bottom part. So we'll cut this here. So now we just only have to print that section. Do that with this over here. At the bottom, do our cut. Should be 15 just like the other one. You can double check there. Yep. Keep the lower. And here we want to check both sides. So let's use the cut tool. Drop this down to 15. But we want to keep the upper part this time. And then we need to orient the upper part. So we're going to go up, deselect, grab it there, set it flat, and then slice that down to 15. And we just want the lower part because that's where the clip holes are. We'll perform our cut. We'll look up from the belly of the beast here, and then this would then match to this here. Use the rotate tool here, and then we can know that those will match up. When they rotate pin to pin, pin to pin, pin to pin. Clip, so we can move that over here. Same with this right here. I'll rotate this back so I get kind of back to back to know which way they're going to go. I guess we can move this over here. Oops, we'll turn off the rotate. We'll slide this over here. Here should still be in our clipboard. We do a paste, we get our disc here. You can drop that to the bed surface. Alright. We're not printing as tall, so these are probably not as critical. Our helper disc, copy, paste. Drag that down. There we go. Okay, it was going to be about 7-hour print, and now we have our clips and everything here. The critical areas to see if our clips work. And let's slice that bugger. Now we got in 2 hours, we can see that it's going to be printed much, much faster. I'm going to save this a minute, and we'll save our project. I try to get in the habit of using save project as because I don't want to overwrite a project sometimes. So save project as and leaf. Save our project as leaf test. Okay, I'm going to do a bunch of undos here. Somehow I didn't select that. We don't want to cut that. Anyway, so that should be about for the whole section. Let's slice this again and just see the time difference. So and that's a little over 7 hours. That should be a setup for a finished print, hopefully. So we could save our project as, again, we don't do, and then we could say leave final. Alright, let's go back to our test here again. Recent project should be stated in there, so leaf test. There's our smaller section. Again, it was 7 hours, cut down to 2 hours, so a little over a third of the time. And these are both kind of the same side, but we can leave this to know that these pins will line up. Then we can just cut this one back even further. So if we have these both selected, we can do rotate. Rotate that down like that. Use the cut tool here. Oops, we just want to have one selected, so cut tool here. There's where the pin is, so it looks like about 40 would be good. And keep the lower part. And then same over here. Cut. Cut that back a little further in here, I guess. Those discs probably offset a little, so we just say 38 would be good. And we could either rotate these back or just use the flat. And then we just have those sections there. Again, we can then run our slice check. And now we're down to about an hour and 14 minutes. Not too bad. If I don't need the infill as much, could drop that back to 5% maybe. Slice now. Hour and 9 minutes, so may not need the brims. Let's see, what do we got here? That adds 5 minutes. Infill's 19, external's 18, perimeter's 14. Yeah, we're not going to cut much more time out of this. So that's not too bad for your time savings. So it's a good way to see how fast you can fail. Thank you for your time, and hopefully you learned how to fail a bit faster and recoup some of your time.